I just absolutely love them. I grew up worshipping Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. I still very much absolutely adore them. And when I was younger, I watched everything that they did, but I never saw the You're Invited To series. Now, I don't know if this was not released in the UK, or if I just never saw it, didn't have the right TV channel, never came upon the VHSs, bearing in mind this is before internet shopping was really a big thing. But thankfully, they are available online, mostly on YouTube. There are a couple that I can't find, but the first one I watched, not really sure what to expect, was You're Invited to Mary-Kate and Ashley's Birthday Party. This is the third one released in the series. This was released in 1997, at which point there would have been about 10 or 11, depending on when in the year it was released. I think they probably would have been about 9 or 10 when it was filmed. And as you can imagine, this is all about the twins preparing a birthday party. The birthday doesn't actually specify their age. And they are discussing what kind of theme they would like. And every time they mention a theme, they come up with a song, and the scene edits into a different location based on that theme, which I think is a pretty fun concept because, you know, a lot of children have birthday parties, they like to have themes. If you're a younger viewer, you can kind of relate to it and get ideas and inspiration. The first one was very peculiar. So the first song is Moon Bounce Madness, and it feels really separate to the rest of the songs in this. On this one, they're singing about jumping up to Mars and Pluto and Jupiter while they're on a bouncy castle, which is fun. It's a fun concept. Bouncy castles are very popular for birthday parties. It's quite a dull song though. It's a very slow song, and I feel like it was not really high energy. It felt like the kids had been given sleeping pills half an hour beforehand. I wasn't really sure what to expect for the rest of it. But after that one, the songs become quite addictive and quite catchy, and the music videos themselves are pretty engaging. I do have to say the songs all sound very similar. They do sound pretty identical, but with slightly different lyrics. The second one is a pool party where they're swimming and having a pool party. The third one rather, is probably the most addictive, and this is the Piñata Party one. And if you watch this, or even just watch the Piñata Party music video, where they are having a piñata party, with sombreros and castanets and maracas and stuff, the music's actually quite engaging. And I should also point out, Mary-Kate and Ashley have said themselves they're not the best singers, but by no means are they bad singers. And same with the dancing, but the choreography is minimal. It's synchronized, but it is minimal. It's not the most intricate. The penultimate one is the first one that I found myself singing along to the first time I watched this. I watched this twice back to back to kind of see if I felt any different once I knew what was coming. And I did sing along to particularly Piñata Party the second time. But Makeover Machine is one that I was singing along to the first time I watched it. And I actually really love this one. It's all about the girls and their friends. It's not just the two of them. There are some other friends in this, having a makeover party where they dress up as different people, fancy dress, you know, the kind of thing. But there's one line in it, and I can't remember the actual lyric, but it's basically saying, appreciate the face that you've got. You don't need to change who you are. You can have a fun time with makeovers, but ultimately be true to who you actually are and don't change your face. Which I absolutely love, and I wasn't expecting such a serious little line in something as quite cheesy and almost outrageous as this little half an hour episode. And I was really pleasantly surprised by that. So out of them all, I think Makeover Machine is my favourite. The message was the best. As I said, I was singing along to this one the first time I heard it, so I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And then things switch and they leave the studio behind and they go to the last song, which kind of makes everything before this pointless, because they decide in the end to go to a fun fair or a theme park or whatever it is, called Six Flags, I believe. I don't know if that's a real thing, if that was a thing in America. I haven't heard of it. But the last song is accompanied by video footage of them on roller coasters and twisters and various other waterlog rides and things, which I love. I'm a big, big fan of theme parks. Although not of white knuckle rides, but they are on quite sensible rides here. And I thought it was a nice change of pace to go from everything being basically studio filmed to basically being outdoors at a theme park and having a lot more fun. The last song wasn't very addictive. The same with Moon Bounce Madness and Pool Party. But Piñata Party was pretty good. Makeover Machine, I really thoroughly enjoyed. It's not the highest production value I've ever seen. The singing is not the strongest. The choreography doesn't really exist. But the editing is good. It's put together well. Although there was some really choice editing in the bouncy castle bit. But ultimately, I thought it was reasonable. It wasn't as cheesy as I had expected. And it was also really good fun. And I have to say, if I had seen this as a child, I would have watched this on repeat and drove my parents insane. I'm sure I drove them insane in many ways, but this would have been a pretty fun way to do it. If you grew up with the Olsens, you need to check this out, especially if you haven't seen it, because it's such a fun way to, I guess, have that nostalgia, but in a new and exciting way. And, you know, I just feel like a child again when I'm watching it. I absolutely adored it for the most part. I'm looking forward to watching the rest. As I said, there were a couple that I can't find, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I think the ballet party I can't find. I may have to buy the VHS, but then I haven't got a VHS player. I will cross that bridge when I come to it, but for now, as my introduction to the You're Invited To series, Birthday Party was pretty fun.